Hey everyone, Kelly Dean Allen here again. Today we're going to have a look at how to play a bit of a Led Zeppelin deep cut from their 1970 album Led Zeppelin 3 with Out on the Tiles. A track with one of Jimmy Page's more outstanding guitar riffs that surely would be much more widely praised were it attached to a bit more of a high-profile track. But those of you who know just how great this guitar riff is. Oddly enough, this track has no guitar solo. Odd, considering that it's one of the more up-tempo rockers from this album, and on those Zeppelin tracks, one could almost always count on a Jimmy Page solo somewhere within the track. Not here, however. No solo, no fills, no little licks here and there. Straight rhythm from start to finish. Fantastic track nonetheless. So with that said, let's close in and learn how to play this one, yeah? Alright then, Out on the Tiles, Jimmy Page and Led Zeppelin from Led Zeppelin 3. Out on the Tiles means going out to the pub, if you didn't know that. An expression that John Bonham liked to use on occasion, on probably more than one occasion. This track starts with octaves on the 3rd fret of the low E and the 5th fret of the D. And then you're going to back it up one spot, right? So we're hitting these octaves, muting the A string in between with the pad of your index finger. We're going to strike this 8 times, all on the downstroke. And then you're going to back it up one spot and do the exact same thing. And then we drop into this. So we're hitting an A power chord that we're dropping onto the 4th fret of the low E for a little half step bend, and we're going to repeat that 3 times. And then the 3rd time you kind of like slow bend release, right? And then we drop into the main riff. So what we're doing here is the 2nd fret of the low E sliding into 6 and then riding down the 4s of the A and the D. Right? I've seen it taught like this, by grabbing that 2nd note here on the 1st fret, this A sharp note, 1st fret of the A string, and then riding down the 4s. Right? But I've watched Jimmy play this one, not live in person, but on YouTube. And there's a couple of live versions of this one, not very many. But there's one where he's playing with the Black Crowes, and you can see him sliding into that 6th fret, playing it that way. Right? Not the 1st fret of the A string. And it's very quick. It's all in one motion. Right? And then we drop onto the 1st fret of the D string. And then you're just going to bounce off the 2nd fret 3 times and then release it back to the 1. And then we're going to grab the 4 of the A off to open A. Right? And then we're going to go 2 of the A off to open 3 times. The 3rd time you're going to give it a little half step bend release before going off to open. Right? Sometimes he'll do that, other times he'll actually pick the note at the 3rd fret. He mixes it up. So just, whatever you feel like doing during the verses here, you can either bend it or pick it, because Jimmy's mixing it up himself. So that's the riff. Repeat it twice. Now the 3rd time it's going to change. Right here. So when you do the 1 2 1 2 1 2 on the D string, you're going to jump up here to the A string from 4 to 2, and you're going to repeat that 4 times. Right? And then you're going to jump up to the 5 4 of the low E string and do that one 4 times. And then the 5th time, you're going to just drop right back onto that A note there. Kind of like that. And then we're going to drop into an F sharp power chord. Going to go off to an E, back into the F sharp. Little pause. Off to E, back into the F sharp. And then we're going to drop back into the riff again. But let's recap that riff, yeah? And when we drop back onto that F sharp the second time, or I should say the third time, right here, your ear wants there to be a pause before going back into the main riff, but there is no pause. You hit that chord and you immediately drop right back into the main riff again. Immediately, right? And then we're into the second verse. Now the third time, right? F sharp, E, F sharp, right? And this is leading into the chorus at this point. So we drop into that F sharp, E, F sharp, and then we drop it into the chorus. So we're just bouncing from an E power chord here at the 7th fret position back to an A power chord and just back and forth twice, right? A, E, A, E, and then we're into this. Right, we're going to, the same thing we played earlier, now we're going to repeat it 4 times right in the middle of the chorus. Right back to the E. A, E. Back to E. Back to this. 4 times. And then we drop back into the octaves. And then back into this again. 4 times. Octaves. Back into this again. 3 times. And then back into the main riff for the second verse. Right? Same as the first verse, and then we drop back into another chorus, same as the first chorus, and that's pretty much the whole track, right? Coming out of the second chorus, octaves, back into this 4 times, octaves, back into this 3 times, and then we're into the outro. And we're going to be repeating this for like a minute and a half. So an E power chord into a G power chord, right? You're going to strike that like 4 times, move it into G, and you're just going to go back and forth. And then you're going to jump up to an A power chord here on the 12-14, and then back it up to G again. Right? Repeat. And after you repeat this for about 40 seconds, we're going to change it just ever so slightly. We're going to start sliding into them and out of them, right? Kind of like that, right? You're not lifting from the fretboard. and that just continues until the end of the track. And that is how you play Out on the Tiles by Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin, John Bonham, John Paul Jones, and Robert Plant. I certainly hope you enjoyed the video, found it helpful. If you did, please hit that like button down below. Maybe drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that would be very kind and helpful to the growth of my little channel. Hope you're well out there in your little guitar corner of the world, wherever that may find you these days, and we will see you next time. Cheers.